China just spent $1.1 billion recruiting American professors to steal our aerospace technology.
Boeing engineer named Tom Martinez has a daughter studying aerospace at Washington State.
She's studying at Washington State, dreaming of building planes that will change the world. But Tom doesn't have the heart to tell her that the world has already changed and that her future was sold for Chinese cash. Next year, China will deliver 50 passenger jets, and by 2030 they'll build more than Boeing and Airbus combined, using technology that they stole from engineers like Tom Martinez, who've been building planes in Washington for over 2 decades. Tom doesn't know it yet, but he's about to lose his job to his own stolen blueprints. Meet Tom Martinez, 22 years building Boeing 737s in Everett, Washington, 2 kids in college, a mortgage, Boeing stock in his pension. While Tom was riveting wings in Washington, Chinese spies were stealing the blueprints in Phoenix for 5 straight years. In 10 years, there's a 40% chance that your flight to Bangkok will be on a plane built with Tom's stolen technology. And Tom? Well, he'll be updating his LinkedIn in Mandarin. Boeing is about to die the same way Nokia did, slowly, then suddenly. And Airbus won't be too far behind. Tom's job is already gone, but he doesn't know why yet. I'm Jan. I investigate the background of aviation's biggest stories and hidden threats. And this is the story the industry desperately doesn't want you to hear. But this isn't about one company failing. It's about watching a murder happen in slow motion. And Tom Martinez is about to become a witness. Tom doesn't know that he's already lost his job to stolen blueprints, and the FBI was about to uncover just how it happened. But Tom's real enemy wasn't in Beijing or Shanghai.
He was in a Harvard chemistry lab cashing $50,000 monthly checks from China, 12 times what Tom earned.
Tom's been building the same way for 22 years. Steady, reliable, American. What he didn't know was that 3,000 miles away, a Harvard professor was selling his future to China. Meet Professor Charles Lieber, chair of Harvard's chemistry department, pioneer in nanoscience, and a recipient of $15 million in US government grants. But he's also a secret participant in China's 1,000 Talents program.
China paid Lieber $50,000 monthly, 6 times his Harvard salary, plus a $1.5 million Wuhan lab. From 2008 to 2018, China spent over $1.1 billion recruiting 7,600 scientists worldwide, offering massive signing bonuses, generous research funding, and even building new labs, all to steal Western technology. Tom Martinez never met Charles Lieber, but Lieber's contract required him to cultivate young researchers, apply for patents, and publish articles in the name of Wuhan University. Every single breakthrough Tom helped build, every innovation Boeing developed, Lieber's network was transferring to China. In 2021, a federal jury convicted Lieber on 4 counts, and he received 6 months house arrest. Tom Martinez got a pink slip. But Lieber was just the beginning. China had built something far more dangerous, a systematic espionage network targeting the heart of American aerospace. But while professors were selling secrets in boardrooms, Chinese intelligence was hunting Boeing engineers. The FBI was watching, and they were about to catch China's most wanted spy red-handed. Tom watches the evening news during his dinner break, another story about Chinese hackers. He changes the channel. If only he knew they were stealing his life's work. All of these thefts had one goal: to fuel COMAC's development of the C919 passenger jet.
2010, Phoenix, Arizona. This is what the largest technology heist in human history actually looked like.
Operation Turbine Panda, 5 years of systematic destruction with one goal: building COMAC's C919 with stolen Western technology.
2010, Chinese Ministry of State Security penetrates Honeywell's network. Initial access achieved. The next year, deep infiltration of GE Aviation systems. Engine data begins flowing to Shanghai. 2012, Tom's wing assembly techniques stolen through Boeing supplier networks. 2013, the LEAP engine program with $15 billion in development completely compromised. 2014, Flight control systems, avionics, manufacturing processes, everything copied. And 2015, operation complete. A decade of Western aerospace innovation gone. But this wasn't just hacking. This was insider recruitment at an unprecedented scale. Meet Yan Junxu, Deputy Division Director, Chinese Ministry of State Security. His job? Steal GE Aviation's most advanced technology. Stu spent years recruiting insiders within GE Aviation. One of them was Xiaoqing Zheng, a GE Aviation engineer and 1,000 Talents program member since 2012. Zheng stole turbine blade technology, hiding the designs inside digital photos of sunsets that he emailed to China. In 2017, Xu tried a more direct approach. He posed as an academic and invited a GE Aviation employee in Cincinnati to China for a university presentation. The real plan was to extract $5 billion worth of GE's composite engine fan technology. But this time, the employee reported it to the FBI, and Xu was caught red-handed. He became the first Chinese intelligence officer ever extradited to the United States and was sentenced to 20 years in federal prison. Here's what they took from companies like Tom's. Dong Fangcheng, Boeing engineer for 30 years, stole space shuttle, C-17, Delta IV rocket technology. FBI found 250,000 pages of classified documents in his home. Technologies worth over $2 billion. Su Bin, Chinese businessman, coordinated the theft of 65 gigabytes from Boeing, 630,000 plus files covering C-17 military transport, F-22 Raptor and F-35 Lightning II. Each theft saved China years of research and billions in development costs. Each theft brought Tom's job one step closer to extinction. But China wasn't just stealing Tom's technology. They were building a $72 billion war machine with it, led by a People's Liberation Army general who viewed Tom not as competition, but as the enemy. Tom gets a news alert on his phone during lunch. US designates COMAC as Chinese military company. He doesn't understand what it means, but he's about to find out. Tom thought that he was competing with other aircraft manufacturers. He was actually fighting a war he did not even know existed. COMAC, Commercial Aircraft Corporation of China. It isn't run by a CEO. It's controlled by the Chinese Communist Party through the State-Owned Assets Supervision and Administration Commission. Key leadership includes former defense officials with very deep military ties. For example, Jiang Qingwei, former COMAC chairman, previously Director of State Administration of Science, Technology and Industry for National Defense. Jin Zhuangrong, former COMAC General Manager. He used to be the Deputy Director and Executive Deputy Office Director of the Central Military Commission for Military Civil Fusion Development Committee in China. In January 2025, the US Department of Defense officially designated COMAC as a Chinese military company. This wasn't speculation, it was confirmation of systematic military connections. When your competitor is controlled by military officials using stolen technology funded by unlimited government subsidies, it is not competition, it is economic warfare. Here is the financial reality Tom was actually fighting against. COMAC's total government support, about $72.1 billion. Initial capital injection, $2.7 billion. Financial institution backing, $38 billion. Import-export bank support, $7.5 billion. Corporate bonds, $8.3, direct subsidies, $79 million. Compare this to the $22 billion that the WTO determined Airbus received from EU governments. China's support for COMAC was 3 times larger, and that's just what's documented. Tom Martinez builds 38 Boeing 737s a month. Same pace for years. Boeing's constrained by safety regulations, union contracts, and actual development costs. But watch this curve, and this is where Tom's future disappears. 2022 was the first commercial delivery for COMAC. 2024, already 12 aircraft delivered. 2025, 75 aircraft production target, and this increases up to 200 plus annually by 2030. That curve represents 50,000 Western aerospace jobs, including Tom's. But Tom would soon realize he'd seen this movie before. He still had his old Nokia phone in a drawer at home, the one that seemed invincible, until it wasn't. Tom hasn't realized it yet, but he's seen this exact pattern before, back when Nokia went from global leader to nothing overnight. Tom thinks about his old Nokia phone from 2008. Seemed impossible that it would disappear. He's starting to understand the pattern. Tom's watching the playbook that destroyed entire industries. One such example is Huawei versus Cisco. In 2003, Huawei copies Cisco routers. Source code, bugs, typos, everything identical. Cisco executives laugh, Chinese knockoffs. But in 2010, Huawei's worth over 100 billion, and Cisco's fighting for survival. Heard of BYD? In 2005, BYD made electric cars that exploded, and everyone was mocking them. By 2015, Tesla's battery technology was systematically copied, and in 2024, finally BYD outsold Tesla globally, and Tesla's market share in China completely collapsed. Have you seen the pattern yet? First they're a joke, then they're competition, and then you're filing for bankruptcy. Next, COMAC is killing Boeing and Airbus using Tom's stolen blueprints. Their most recent aircraft, the C919, isn't inspired by Western aircraft. It is a Western aircraft assembled with Chinese characteristics. The Airbus A320 wing design, copied through systematic hacking. The 737 manufacturing process, stolen via Operation Turbine Panda. And GE's Safran engine technology, acquired through the Thousand Talents recruitment. Honeywell's avionics systems, compromised through multi-year infiltration. Same dimensions, same performance, same everything. Except China didn't pay for R&D. Tom's company did. And here are the terrifying mathematics. It took Boeing 15 years and $15 billion to develop the 737 MAX. But it took China only 6 months to copy the critical technologies. It took Chinese courts 0 days to approve COMAC's indigenous innovation. Tom Martinez had started his career when American aerospace dominated the world. He'll end it facing a choice that no American worker should ever have to make, and it all comes down to $700. And just when Tom thought things couldn't get worse, reality hit his family directly in his daughter's uncertain future. Tom's daughter called him from college. "Dad, should I switch majors? My aerospace professor says the industry is changing." Tom doesn't know what to tell her. But nobody would actually fly on these Chinese knockoffs. Stop. You're asking the wrong question. The C919 reality check. 16 aircraft so far have been delivered to Chinese airlines. Over 1 million passengers have been carried, 10,000 plus safe flight hours, 3,007 plus commercial flights completed, and 0 major incidents. These aren't knockoffs anymore. They're aircraft built with Tom's stolen expertise, flying with China's unlimited financial backing. But what's the Belt and Road connection? 70 countries now owe China infrastructure money. Each loan contract includes aircraft procurement clauses. Buy our planes or we'll call in your debt. The current price reality? The C919 is a 101 million list price. The Airbus A320, 111, and the 737 MAX 121. But with state subsidies and forced financing, Chinese airlines pay effectively less than half the price. International customers get significant discounts through the Belt and Road financing. The thing to remember is that Tom's pension is invested in Boeing stock. Every C919 delivery drops his retirement value just that little bit more. Right now, COMAC needs Western engines, the same LEAP engines they stole the designs for, but China's building the CJ1000A engine. When that works, not if, when, they can build aircraft with 0 Western components. Sanctions-proof aircraft for a sanctions-heavy world. Game over for Tom's industry. But Tom's most difficult decision was still ahead of him, because in his email inbox, an offer was waiting. One that would force him to choose between his principles and his family's future. Here's the choice that Tom Martinez faces within 5 years. Flight option A, China Eastern, COMAC C919, Shanghai to Bangkok, $800. Flight option B, Thai Airways, Boeing 787, same route, $1,500. Same flight time, same safety record, half the price. That's the bet that China's making, that your survival instinct costs exactly $700. By 2030, China predicts capturing 25% of the domestic single-aisle market. That's over 2,000 aircraft worth over $200 billion. Every COMAC sale is a Boeing sale that Tom won't build. Boeing's current backlog, 4,500 aircraft. Average build time, 22 months. COMAC's current orders, 1,200 plus. Target build time, 12 months. The math is brutal and simple. Chinese aircraft built with Tom's stolen technology, sold at subsidized prices, backed by unlimited state funding. Tom checks his Boeing stock portfolio on his phone, down 12% this quarter. His retirement fund is shrinking with every C919 aircraft delivery. So what's the FBI's assessment? That China steals up to $600 billion in US intellectual property annually. 80% of economic espionage prosecutions benefit the Chinese state interests. FBI is opening new China-related counterintelligence cases every 10 hours. And there's a 1,300% increase in China-linked economic espionage over the past decade. Every stolen secret, every recruited professor, every compromised network brought Tom's world closer to collapse. Tom stares at his phone. The email arrived this morning. Subject line: exciting opportunity with COMAC. He's been staring at it for a few hours. I talked to a Boeing engineer who worked in the 737 MAX program in Seattle. He wouldn't go on camera, but he sent me this photo. Himself watching a C919 take off from Shanghai Pudong Airport. His text: that's my wing design, my hydraulic system, my life's work, flying in Chinese colors. He's 58 years old, but he's updating his resume in Mandarin. Tom Martinez is doing the same thing. 22 years of American aerospace expertise, now considered job applications for Chinese aircraft companies because that's where the future is. The real Charles Lieber received 6 months house arrest for selling American technology to China. The real Yan Zhenshu received 20 years in federal prison for stealing it. And the real Tom Martinez will spend the next 20 years building aircraft for the country that destroyed his career. Subject: exciting opportunity with COMAC. Dear Mr. Martinez, we've reviewed your 22 years of experience with Boeing and the 737 wing assembly. Your expertise in precision riveting and structural integration aligns perfectly with our C919 production expansion in Shanghai. Compensation package: $180,000 a year, housing allowance $50,000, relocation bonus $75,000, and a 2-year contract with renewal option. We know about your children's college graduation dates, and we understand Boeing's recent challenges. We offer stability in the growing industry. Best regards, COMAC Human Resources. Tom's cursor hovers over the reply button. His Mandarin learning app shows 47 consecutive days of practice, and his daughter's text sits unanswered. Should I change it majors, Dad? Every Chinese aircraft represents $100 million of stolen research and development, years of compromised Western supply chains, decades of systematic espionage operations. Tom's job flying at 500 miles an hour towards Western aerospace bankruptcy. In 10 years, when you board that flight to Bangkok and see Chinese characters on the safety card, remember this moment. Remember Tom Martinez. And remember when Boeing and Airbus could have fought back but chose quarterly earnings over survival. The choice that you'll face. Comment below. Would you fly COMAC to save $700? Because in 5 years you won't have a choice. And Tom Martinez will be building your aircraft in Shanghai, speaking Mandarin and wondering how America let this happen. Tom closes his laptop. The email remains unread for now. Because if you're still holding Boeing or Airbus stock after watching this, you certainly deserve what's coming. For the Sky Digest, I'm Yan, and Tom Martinez already moved his pension out of aerospace.
偷来的还在飞，干杯！